Hello peeps. So let me find a decent level for the music here. I think it should be okay around here. Perfect. And that should go here. Boom. Like that. Okay. Hello. Racing man. It's just some sync wave stuff instead of the classic lo-fi, but I think we'll go back to lo-fi in a moment anyway. It was just like good to get started with a little. Yeah, that's good. So let's give people get in here and then I'll explain what I'll do today, which is kind of the same as yesterday or the day before, but also different. Still circles around the settings, but this time it's more like replacing the functionality. Close the window. Okay, I'll just start. So what I will do today is that I will, yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, but I kind of finished the UI stuff, not completely, but kind of finished it. At least it's good enough for now. I'm starting it up here so you can see how it looks in a moment. But anyway, today I'm gonna replace all the code that uses the settings. You can see here. So this is how it looks right now. Let me just take that down a bit. So this is how it looks now. Settings, yada yada yada. And they all kind of, work UI wise, and they also setting the correct settings in the code. Hello, can it? So the next thing is to actually make it work in game. So when you the sound and the music also is already working and the resolution, but stuff like mouse sensitivity and inverted things here, graph, also the quality and all that. I need to actually do something so it have an effect in the game, and that's what we're gonna look today. And by doing that, I will completely replace the old global settings, what I was called it before. So I'll just start on doing that. So let's see here. We need to set this here. So these are all the settings we need to replace. And let's see, do we have? I actually have this one, but that's kind of it's a. Oops. Here we are. So let's see. So can we do that? So I can still do that. Yeah, I'm basically just taking one thing at a time, and this is kind of an internal thing, so it's not something that will be any UI for. So we do an integer here, and then we do like this, and then we take this name, do like that, and the default to 50. And then we take this command thing. This is a very internal thing that is not something that normal users will use. I would assume this will work. So now I can do like this, close this one, and then I can build it, and then we will get an error in the bottom here, down here. I guess so in a moment, because now I removed this property and I'm building now. So now we get an error because that was used somewhere. You can see here. So now this is not working, and this global setting here is what I'm replacing. So I'm replacing that with settings, instance, and this one. And then we're gonna align it like this. So now we have this one, and then we can build again, and then it works. Perfect. Then we just move on to the next one, and the next one, next one. Since it takes so long to make a new Keltosar is back. What? Oh, it's a new channel? Ah, since it takes so long to make a new channel. I don't know if I missed a chat message, but you only said since it takes so long to make a new channel. Hello, Amnesty. Amnesty Fireworks, okay. People are changing names all over the place. Some after 8 knockoff stuff. Premium quality. But I don't have any more left now. Okay, so this one is working. So here we get to a more exciting one because this have an action. So that means that this motion blur enabled, we already have that one. That was the one we did. We have this enable motion blur that will basically replace this one over here. So when I'm removing this, commenting that out, we can also see that when this is set, it's actually invoking an action, which is basically an event. So somebody is hooking up to this event, or maybe are hooking up. Yeah, we can see some camera effect setting is hooking up to that. But we remove it now, and then we see what happens. We build, and then we get all the errors down here for where it's used. So, so we can see here there is something called camera effect settings manager, and I think this is a component I have on the main camera. Let's maybe double check that. What? Don't do that. What? So let's see here. So let's just, for the sake of it, open map essentials, and then let's see here. Because we have a camera, and then I think we have the camera settings. That's just my way of setting up stuff. Yes. Now camera effect settings manager. Yes, and that is this one over here. Camera effects settings manager. Yes. So I use this component to set up the camera based on the settings. I don't know if there is any better way of doing that, but this is how I do it. So this one should be able to do a, so we should be able to, let's maybe leave this so we can see how it is. So, so the new one doesn't have a specific event for each property, because I was thinking it would be easier for me, to be honest, to just have an on settings changed event, and then I can do like this. And then I can maybe say settings manager on setting changed. So this one will be triggered. Whoops. This will be triggered every time one setting is changing on the settings manager. So in here we can see if enable blur. So we have this post-processing effect. So if basically we can just set it to that actually. So we can just say it's checking for null. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We will do it like that. That's fine. And then I just want to do something here. Deep. Oh. Destroy. Just want to clean things up. So we do like this, and then we do like this, and then we remove this here. And then in this one, we basically just do this. So we say if the motion setting is there, then we just say set this one to blur. Boom. And then we remove this. And then we can, of course, also call this. Yeah, we can do like this. We can use the same method, and then we can do like this. So when it's loaded first, when it's started up, it's setting its setting based on what it have here, and then it also hooks up to an event. So if this is changed afterwards, after the game is running, it should trigger this one, which should set the effect on and off. So basically, the blur should work now here. I don't know where it's. Okay, so we have. Oh, that's the old one. So we don't need that. Just want to paint that too, because that is the old settings UI manager that we are not using anymore. It's obsolete here, replaced by this one. So we can basically ignore this. So let's do like that. Let's see. Making some Danish food today. Røde pølser. Red sausages. Hello, Glider Cat. Hope you enjoy the game. I don't know if you've played it yet, but hello, Rob. Glider Cat actually reached out to ask for a key for his channel, and I get tons of mails like that. And normally I write back to people saying that they should do a comment on one of my videos, so I know that they are actually the owner of the channel that they say they are. And 99% of the time, people just go silent after that because they are not the YouTuber they say they are. But Glidercat was actually the person he said he was, so he got a key. But yeah, it's terrible with this scamming thing. Because then people are writing me saying, oh, I own this channel, can I get a key? And then in the beginning, I was just sending people a key. And because, you know, people want to play my game. Ah, cool. So I sent them a key. And then because there were so many writing, I didn't have time to follow up. And the game was just launching and everything. And then later on, I started seeing my keys showing up on these key sites. And then it turned out that people are just writing, you know, I'm this big YouTuber, send me a key, please. And then they just sell the key. So they basically just stole a sale from me. And the people that buy the key don't know that it's a stolen key. They just think they found a cheap one, which could be legit, you know, if you want a key somewhere for a giveaway or whatever. But yeah, so that happened a lot. But it stopped happening so much after I stopped sending out without asking the people to do a comment. Because if you own the channel, making a comment on another channel is pretty easy. So yeah. Okay, anyway, let's see here. Earlier on the 4th. Okay, cool. Yeah, looking forward to see it, Glidercat. Okay, so this one doesn't matter either. We can remove that. Okay, so let's actually try this out, because this is the first setting that we can actually see in the game. So that was motion blur. So now, no, I can't. Oh, damn it. No, we can't really test that because I haven't added the settings, the new settings UI in the game. But let me see if I can do. Maybe that's not so difficult to do because we have this one. Let me see here. So game UI settings. So let me just see. Prefabs UI. Let me see. Content. No. Containers. No. What do we call it? No. I can't remember. No. Where is it? Content? No. Views? Yes, here it is. maybe not the best place, but let's see. It will look weird and it will be weird, but let's see. So we should be able to, if I change this to game UI and settings, that should really show up in game instead of this one. Maybe. Let's see. Of course, the settings in the game shouldn't look exactly like that. Now I'm just copying the prefab completely. There will be some other things in the side to exit the game and all that. But I never tried this before. So let's see. Okay, so I need to do this to load mods, blah, blah, blah. Yes, accept, use, perfect. And we can go in here and, oh, I have a lot of mods. Yeah, let's just try that, just for the fun of it. Just to showcase loading the updated map here from MSD that Gonako did his magic on, so it's now much faster loading and takes less memory. But you will, Rob, you will. It's crazy. I also did a video about it because I discovered a new kind of scam where people are actually setting up fake Twitch accounts with the same uploaded footage. So the channel actually, at first, when you just look at it quickly, it looks legit. But then suddenly you see many of the same channels with the same content with different names. And then it's kind of, that's weird. But I did a video about that and sent it to Keymailer, and they actually got back to me, and then they tried to do something to avoid stuff like that. But it is a big problem, Rob. It's a very big problem. Especially, and it's so cool because you just launched your game and you have a million things to do when doing that. And you also want to, sell your game, and you want it out there. So when people write and they want to do a post about it, they want to do a video or whatever, you're just happy, of course, and send them a key. And then they just sell that key. Okay, so now it very much looks like there is blur on it here. Can you guys see it? Let's see. Oops, let's do it like this. Wow, really laggy. Is that because why is it so laggy? That's weird. Okay, maybe it's because last time I tried I was just in the default, in the build version of the game, compared to Unity and streaming and blah 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 blah. But anyway, that's not the thing we want to see. We can see here that it's motion blur. So if I hit escape and hit settings, okay. And then we can go to graphics and motion blur off, and then back maybe, and back, and now it's off. So it did work. Nice. I don't know why is it lagging so much. Let's go out and try a normal map, because I don't think my computer like the mods, and it could also be something else, because this map used to run better. But sometimes it's like when I'm upgrading my my graphics driver, it's like sometimes it's a bad build or something like that. So when streaming and having okay, it's the same here. That's weird. Oh, maybe. Oh wait, no. No, it's set to. But this have no. If this shouldn't have any effect yet. Oh, maybe. No, it shouldn't. It does, because it's okay. Yes, okay, that's why. Okay. Yeah, it's because these two are actually something that is set in the engine and not something in my game. Anyway, it runs better now. It was my own settings that was messing up things, at least a little. But we can go here, and now we have blur. Yep. And then we don't have blur. Yes, perfect. Okay. Move it. Next setting. So it actually works. So that's cool. So we take the next one. Ambient volume. Let's see if there's something referencing that. Hello, 3 Hopper. So how is it going, by the way, Rob, if you're still here? The other day I was actually explaining your game idea to my son, like the concept of your idea of being inside this ladybug and you can't get out, and you have to not get out, but you have to travel the world inside this bug by working together. And he was like, okay, that sounds pretty fun. So I think you have a hit on your hand if the execution, you know, one thing is the idea, the other one is the execution. So if you manage to execute it right, I think could be good. But it's very, very important that you get some funny moments in there, because that's apparently what sells it. Not funny moments, but potentially funny situations. But exactly what that is, that's hard to say. Okay, so it's used here, but I don't need to do that anymore because it's the other one. It's the global setting initializer, and we need to remove that because that's actually done inside the settings manager now. So we don't need that at all. This one we need to look at some point, but this is fine for now. Setup, and that's the old settings UI 2. So we can remove that. And here we have apply ambient, blah blah blah. We don't need that. So that works. Then we take the next one, last scene character definition. That's a new one. So, and that's a string. Oh, we don't have that. Okay, so we have to make a new one of these. So we need a getter and setter for this. So we need to have a set string property. The value needs to be, let's see here, a string. And this is what I explained yesterday. I'm having these setters and getters here that can do stuff, so I can reuse these and then use the caller name member to get that as the key, so I don't have to both have a key and a property name and blah 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 blah. And this only makes sense if you are a developer, so, but I'm just saying it anyway. So we have a string, prefix, property name, and the value. Default, doesn't it? That doesn't, that's a setter, and we have to get back a string, and we have to string here, string, and default value is string empty, I guess. Ah, come on. Don't it have this string empty thingy? Ah, come on. Okay, we don't use that anymore. Isn't there a string empty? Ah, you can't. Ah, because we can't use that in there. Anyway, so we get string here. Boom, property name. So that would be the settings prefix plus the name of the property, default value, blah 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 blah. Yep. Okay. Boom, and then we take this one, and then we change that to a string, and we rename it to last seen character ID. Boom boom, and then we do a set string, and the default value is nothing, or basically this, because that will get to be nothing in the default. Boom. So like that. So now we also can have a string thing here. So set character definition. So that's not gonna happen there. We're gonna replace it with the new instance last use character, blah blah blah, character definition, boom, like that. Align it, boom. And we have the same down here. And we can get it here and we set it in there. Boom. Yes. That needs to have silly, funny stuff too. Unfortunately, I don't take myself too serious. Yeah, exactly. The same here. It has to be fun. So, and then we have master volume. So again, basically, if you just got in here, I'm basically replacing all the old settings in the game with a new class. In a new way, you could say. So I'm replacing it, I'm deleting it from the old class, which was a static class thingy, and now have it in a in kind of a manager, singleton manager thing that starts up whenever the game starts and live through the entire game. So I have a little more control over things, and then have wrapped things around stuff in a little nicer way. Apply master, we can remove this too. So like that, that's the old settings UI manager. I have a new settings UI controller, which is actually separated out. Before I had, that's another improvement. I had one manager I called it in the old days, to have all the UI for all the settings. Now I have one. You can see settings graphics UI controller, settings controls UI controller, and now I name it controller for stuff that can actually be multiple instances of, and managers is something that is a singleton. It's a little one for Europe. I'm naming stuff like that now and have been for a while. So managers are something that is there's only one of them. Controllers, they can be many. So I divided out, so now the UI logic is in here for the graphics part, so I can have all my UI stuff for the graphics tab in the settings. And then all the settings are then in this settings manager, which is responsible for actually setting them and saving them and restoring them from the player prefs. And then it have some kind of helper methods to do that, like get resolutions and apply stuff whenever it starts, and shut down, remove events and all that when it's shut down. So yeah, much better. So master volume, boom, yep, no problem with that. Enable camera shake, we also have that one in the new one. So let's see here. Yeah, so I'm calling it UI controller now if it's something that kind of controls a part of some UI, but it's so freaking hard with that naming thing. Okay, here we have one. Okay, so and this, I don't know if I should change that. I think I'll just stick with this for now, but it's kind of also a problem. What you see here, again, will only make sense for modders and developers maybe, but basically what I'm working on here on the left, the new stuff, all this settings thing, is an in-game only thing. So it's only accessible from in the game. Modders cannot access it via script. However, there are some settings that is needed in the core part of the game, you know, in the part of the code that mod creators have access to. Mod creators build their mods on top of what I call the core of the game, which is kind of a subset of or some part of the game that they build on top of that. And that thing is then taken into the game and then working in conjunction with all the other stuff in the game. Anyway, some settings are needed in this core part because, for instance, the camera shake apparently is needed. You can see here. It's because the explosion physics force here is in the core, and because it needs to know if it needs to do a camera shake or not. So therefore, that needs to be in the core. But I need to, from the settings is set in the game, so I need to set it in the core part. Okay, it's a long explanation and you don't care. Anyway, I'm doing it like this. So I have some core settings which have these settings that is actually need to be exposed to the core. They are here, and then they are actually set whenever the game enter is starting, you could say, or whenever this one is called, which I don't know. That is whenever it's awake and when I apply. Okay. Yeah, but I can basically just set it now. Okay, I need to figure out how I want to do that, because really if I should redo it now, I would skip this and then I would have an interface, I think. That's one way of doing it, on the settings manager, and then use the dependency resolver I have, so I could get it from that and then use only the settings I expose in that. I think I'm only the one understanding what I'm saying right now. But I think we stick with that to not break mods right now. The UI is going to make the game feel much smoother and slick. Yeah, it looks much better. And I think that, to be honest, hopefully when Doozy UI come with this stashy and shoppy or whatever they call it, which is kind of a year behind schedule or whatever, I don't know. But when they come with that, I hope and pray, because I know I use the other stuff, and their other stuff is very cool and very nice to use. So I think also the inventory will see a performance boost, like a lot, and feature boost whenever I get my hands on that. And that's why I'm not spending time doing anything on the inventory right now, is because I'm waiting on this package to be released so I can use that functionality to save myself time, because it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of time improving the inventory if I can buy a package that does 80% of that and I can do something much better, much faster. So it's smarter to spend the time now on other stuff that I can't buy a package for, you could say. So that's really gonna be good, hopefully. I don't know what the packet contains, I don't know, but I know the other stuff, and that's good. So yeah, let's see. Anyway, let me think for a while here. Hello Stefan, hello Biotech, hello Sullivan. Okay, so these core settings. So this one was normally called whenever the global settings initializer was awakened. That was when it started, and this particular one is on a prefab that is also instantiated when the game starts. So that means it applied this one, it was also applied whenever you hit apply in the inventory in the settings. But now in the new settings, you don't have to hit apply for everything. You only had to do it for parts of the display thing, like the resolution and full screen mode and these 4 different ones. That's the only one you have to apply. The other ones so far you just change and they change right away. So I think what we can do is that we can basically, so this enable camera shake. So really what I could do is that I could basically I could, first of all, I could set it camera shake here. So I could change this I could basically do like this. This is really not a nice way to do this, but yeah, but that will have to do for now. So I set it whenever I set the enable camera shake, because that is the property to do that. I also set the call, so that covers the part that covers this one hit apply thing, because yeah, that happens whenever the other one happens, whenever it's set. So that's fine. But this awaken one, I think we will just have the same method basically here as a private one, that just here. So we just do a private, private void apply global settings to core settings, and then we call that in this one. Boom. And then we just do like this, camera shake. I don't know why I have the other properties actually. Why do I have them in here if they are not needed? Ah, they're in the share, blah blah blah. They are in here. Okay. Ah, okay, that's because they are now. Yeah, okay. It's because in the old days these settings were something you set in the settings, but the enable ignite forces, the enable explosion forces, and out of despawn, these three have actually moved to be part of the host setting, and not the actual setting on the client. This is not something you as a client can decide, it's something that the host decides. So it's part of the creating a host setting, and therefore not part of the setting of the game, but part of this host JSON file. Anyway. Okay, so I think this will work too. And this is some UI stuff. We don't need that because this one is not used anymore. That's the old UI. And apply camera shake. That's basically just setting it. We have that under control already. So that should work too. Should we, just for the fun of it, to try this already? So this one applies. Okay. Let's just try this because we changed a lot now, but some of them, well, we changed the volume and we changed the shake thingy. So let's see. We are soon done, I can see. We need it with master volume and the lasting character and camera shake and ambient volume. Okay, let's give it a try. Could you make a thing I can create ground bloom flowers? I don't know what that is. I've been in contact with Doozy. Yeah, I asked them like every couple of months. I asked them nicely. So what's the status on this one? And they're like, yeah, takes time, blah blah blah. Priorities, blah 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 blah. Did they give an update instrument for this? No, they didn't, sadly. Good question, Rob. If the host change settings, does it filter to all the clients? These settings at the end or in the future, it's the plan that the host can go into the host UI and make changes to the setting just like you can when you start the game. And that should of course be applied to clients. But for the ignition force and these settings I had before, ignition, explosion force and all that, they are actually not sent out to the client because all of them are calculated on the server only. So that one doesn't have to be synchronized with the clients. But other settings will, and that will happen. And parts of some of the settings are also synchronized. And I already I've done that. I have code for that. I basically have kind of a shared host config struct, as I remember, or serializable thing that I have in a variable, and then the host sets that, and that's synchronized to all clients, also late joiners. So yeah, that should work. Are you gonna do single player today? Wickedbug, no, not today. I'm gonna fix this setting, and the next step after having this setting working, which is working, the settings will be done today work-wise, I'm pretty sure. Then there could be something with the UI, because as you can see here, this UI need to change because that's the old look. And when I click settings, I get to this new look, which kind of is taking up the entire screen. I need to come up with some other UI here, but I will use the same UI language as I have in the main menu, kind of. So that should be fairly easy to do that. Once that is done, then I will look into multiplayer, single player, sorry. And then I get back to more funny multiplayer stuff. Anyway, so right now it was the camera shake and it was the volume. Let's just do something here. So let's shut this one, and then let's have some sound here. You can hear sound, and let's see. Okay, so we have sound, audio. That works. That's good. Let's see if the camera shake works. Camera shake, very much shaking, yes. Let's turn off the camera shake. And let's spawn some more stuff. Now we shouldn't get camera shake. No camera shake. Let's turn on camera shake. So it's easy when you do it nicely. Okay, so that's cool. Pretty easy. Okay. Is this really the lo-fi stuff? Yeah, okay. Spinners. Ground spinners, okay. Yeah, I'm not right now. I'm not so focused on making new kind of fireworks. I just added the shells and mortar, and that's it for now. I'll stick with other stuff now because I only have 24 hours in the day. Okay, so we're gonna remove this. It's the old settings here, but of course more fireworks in the future, but it's more important that the entire game and the core game kind of works, so I have something to add upon, because just adding a new firework type actually takes a lot of time, and it doesn't give that much compared to what I could spend other time on. Anyway, so this one also out. One thing that would be interesting is to see how, because when you guys get to this settings here, the way the resolution thing works is pretty different now. The way it's implemented, not pretty different, but it's a little different. And now it also supports borderless window mode, which is something I wanted myself, because it's so annoying when if you want to stream it full screen and you want to tap in and out. It's so annoying having a dedicated full screen, which performs better, but it's kind of more hard to switch back and forth. So yeah. So it would be interesting to see if this fixes some of the bugs. And actually, one interesting thing, I was looking in the for you, Rob, if you're here still, I was looking in the Unity documentation about this resolution thing. And they had a note saying that if you, I don't know exactly how you can do it, but if you somehow do a full screen exclusive full screen, which is the full screen mode where it takes the entire screen and doesn't render the window thing in background. If you do that with a resolution that doesn't fit your screen 100%, or it's not a supported one or something like that, then you can see very, very significant cut in your frames per second. It's very hard apparently to do that. So maybe, but this doesn't answer the low FPS bug we have in the game that comes over time. But I have seen some scenarios where people have complained about, and I also actually had it myself, where I had low FPS. It was all looking, to me it was looking normal, but then I went into settings and hit apply without doing any other changes, and then suddenly my FPS went up. So I'm interested to see if some of this resolution code I've changed now might have fixed some of these things. But yeah, that will be interesting when I release this version here to the multiplayer beta. But let's continue here. So frames per sec, frame rate limit here. Let's remove that. It's in the settings UI. We don't want to use that anymore. So that's fine. We have the new one over here. That's all good. Don't want to test that. So there's the look sensitivity. That's a new one. And it also have a event here, and it's a float. So let's go down here and let's copy a float one, just because we are lazy and the order of these doesn't really matter. So we say look sensitivity, or we could, okay, I copied the mouse sensitivity. And the reason I saw it was because I was actually about to rename this to mouse sensitivity, which I apparently did already. Jesus Christ. So we already have that. So we just need to remove it here and remove that, and then we build, and then we get some errors, which is fine. And this is the input manager. So we do like this, and we say settings. Oops. Settings manager, whoops, instance, mouse sensitivity, boom. And then we have this one. And this input manager, is that that's not, that's the reason I'm pausing here is because instead of having it inline here, do you know that, Rob? Are you still here? I've always thought about that, because if you're doing, let's say, okay, let me show you here. So I think I know the answer, but let's just take it here. So in the new one, I only have a on settings changed event in the new settings manager, because then it's up to the consumer of that event to look into the manager and see if they're setting. Oh, come on with that helping thing. If that's, oh, damn it. Is it like this? Something like this? Okay, anyway, so the new way I'm doing this, instead of having specific events for specific settings, I'm just having on settings changed, which is then, you can see over here, because I'm reusing the same getter and setter, bool, int, whatever, it's triggered here on all of them. So if a string change, if a float change, if an int change, blah, 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 I trigger this one, and then it's up to the consumer to look for that one. So in this case, I would be looking for the settings, mouse sensitivity thing, and then I would set that to something. Okay, anyway, that doesn't matter. So if I do like this, this one looks like it's, and I have to check up on that, because maybe there is only one. Okay, but let's see, let's say I made a mistake. So this inventory manager, because if there is multiple, you can see here it's actually destroying the old one and then setting the new instance as the instance. So this singleton is kind of it can be a little flaky, because you can have an instance and then that one is destroyed and a new one is put into an instance. So the old one that is destroyed had this one hooked up and it's never removed on destroy. So wouldn't that mean that this settings manager on this event would have a pointer to a non-existing function here? Or maybe to a function on something that doesn't really exist? Do you know what I mean? Because what I'm feeling I want to do now is to do the more boring one, but where you have more control, where you do like this, and then you have an instance, blah, blah, blah. Because then you can do something like this, and you can unhook this. So if this instance of the input manager is destroyed, it's also removing this hooked up event. So I'm just curious if this could be a problem. Or if because I haven't noticed it being a problem, but if this happens enough time in all fireworks, yada, 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 will that be cleaned up automatically by the garbage collector or something like that? Yeah, exactly. Bind and unbind. Yeah. Yes, that works with Singleton too. Exactly. But typically you are lazy and just do like this and think, oh, this will live forever. But not necessarily. So I have actually lately, and that's also why I saw it now, I have lately starting doing this more. Exactly so I'm sure at least when this is destroyed, I'm unhooking and we're back to 0. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's just one thing is laziness, another thing is actually, and that's actually a better thing. It's easier to read, I think, to just have it like this. But anyway, we do it. Okay, now comes another thing, because see what I'm doing now. The good thing about this is that I want to reset it, rename it to settings manager on settings changed. The good thing now is that I only need to do this once, because down here I can say look sensitivity will be set to, and let me do like this, settings manager, because I'm sending it in here just for reference. And then I can say mouse sensitivity, boom, and then I can do the mouse invert modifier and set that to, but let's see, so like that. So I can hook up both in the same, except that this settings is apparently a different one. So I need to invert your modifier. Oh yeah, okay, but I need some logic like this. But anyway, it's still more simple because I can hook it up like this. So let's do that. And we also want to do, so what am I doing here? Let's clean this up a bit. So that used to be no, that's a bool too. Okay, so if that's true, it's -1. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. Little lazy again, but I will. And I could really do that in a more nice way, but I'm lazy again. So let's do like this. And I did the sin of all programmers. I just copied the logic here 2 places. You never want to do that. I should really do a method to set this one. So, yeah, I know. Okay, so the anonymous method is actually picked up by the garbage collector. Okay, that's good, because I was fearing that that they might just, they are small, no problem, but if you have enough of them, players are playing in a long session over an hour, 2 hours, do they add up? Maybe. So that's what I was afraid of. Lots of graphics, animators, etc. Ooh, nice. By the way, chat, Rob, check out his channel. He's also making a game, but he's not having that key scammer issue yet because this game is not out yet. But he's making a game called Clumber, where it's a co-op game, you could say, where you are supposed to move around in the world inside a mechanical ladybug. It sounds weird. The idea is actually pretty funny, and I think actually it could be a funny game if, again, as I said before, if you manage to do the implementation execution correctly, so it becomes funny, because that whole co-op thing with like 3 or 4 friends, that could be fun. Yeah, so check out this game. Wishlist it. And wishlist Fireworks Mania, of course. But I guess most people in here have that already, so... Force a friend to wishlist it. Yeah, I know, Rob. I know. I know. But... we show the people, Rob, that it is possible to be an old guy with a family like you and I and still make a game. Mine is released, you are not, but a few years ago my game was not released either. So yeah. Okay, so now this actually became pretty it became a little prettier. So that's good. This entire input manager is also something, when you did some code like a few years back and it worked good enough, and then you never get back to it, and then when you see it again, it's like, oh, I know so much more now. I can make this better. But I don't have time to that now. Actually, the input manager and the entire control thing, that will be something I will be looking into when I'm working on bindable controls, which is part of settings, but it's not part of this iteration of settings. This iteration of settings is only about changing the UI of the settings, and so it's more so I can easily add more settings to the UI, and also the stuff behind, which is the settings manager that you see here. So the implementation of how the code is done is easier, and also easier for me to extend to add more features. So yeah, let's see. So that was the look sensitivity and mouse invert stuff. So when that is loaded, we set it from the settings manager, and when the setting manager change, we set these 2 fields again. Oh, let's see here. So that's the old UI manager. We don't want to do that, so we don't need that anymore. And then we go in here, place mount, blah, blah. When I'm done with all this, this entire file is going out, and this entire file is being deleted. That's also progress. Deleting stuff you don't need anymore. It's actually very important to do that. Housekeeping. Okay, let's test the looks and the mouse sensitivity and the inverted Y thingy. You're young. Yeah, don't feel that young. Yeah, that's actually correct. My game is actually pretty old. And actually, looking back, to be honest, I actually regret now that I didn't went for early access, to be honest, because the way the game has. But the problem back then is that I didn't know how popular it would be. So and back then, a few years ago, the early access, and I don't know if that's still the case, had kind of a bad rep. Like, people just going out, doing a early access, get people's money, and then never do anything with the game. That was happening a lot back then. And also, in the thing you had to fill out to make it a early access game, you had to put in what you would add to the game after early access. And I didn't know what to write there, because my plan was actually to just develop the game, and then when I was thinking that it would be finished, I would release that. So it was not like, it was written in a way so I got the feeling that the idea was that you created like 10% and had that in or maybe 40% of the game and had that in the early access. And then when you launched the game, it was kind of expected that the game would have a lot more. That makes sense if you're a studio, so you can have a small group working on some part of it that, people can play in the early access, and then have another part of the company work on something behind the scenes that you can then merge in and then release a full game with a lot more content. I can't do that when I'm one person doing it all. So I had a hard time filling out that form, basically. And then talking with some people like Amnesty and Keltasar, they were like, well, it is a finished game. It's a small game with small amount of features, but it was a decently working game. It just didn't have a lot of content. So that's why I decided to go with a full release. But the thing is, the game has actually been handled and developed continuously like it was an early access game. So yeah, but so that's a little. I would like to have been early access back then. Yeah, Fireworks MANIA 2. But let's see. Now I want to complete this, do all the things I want to do with this, and then let's see what we can do. Because one of the problems I have with this current one is that I need at some point to upgrade to one of the newer rendering pipelines in Unity, and I'm not sure I can do that with the basic game, but do it in a way so all or 95% of mods still works. Oh, that's not easy, I think, but that's something for the future. But it's also hard to start on a new Firework MANIA 2 where I could kind of do some more stuff, because then I have to build this entire. I know I have the community now, but I don't think modders want to start all over, and yeah, it's but not thinking so much about that right now. I'm thinking about multiplayer. I'm thinking about getting this version out and getting it on a platform eventually. Blah 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 blah. Let's see what happens. Anyway, so yeah, I'm an actual developer, even though it's in my spare time. It's a 9:15 in the evening right now. Anyway, so let's do the settings here and let's see the controls. So invert mouse. If we enable that, is the mouse inverted? No, it's not. Let's see. So that's not working. And let's take the sensitivity up. Okay, this sensitivity works. Woo! You can't see it, of course, but it's crazy now. So what if we take it to 1? Ooh, smooth. Okay, so the sensitivity works, but the invert mouse X doesn't work. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look in the code before we stop the game here. So in the controls, yep, the toggle here. So we set up the invert toggle. So we set it to mouse invert Y is on. And when that is changed, we set this to on. So that should work, and we set it here, and we set this here. Player prefs, integer. So that's a bool, true, false. An input manager here. We set it the input modifier to. So if it's true, it's -1, and if it's if it's true, it's -1, and if it's false, it's 1. So that was the logic from before too. So the question is, let's see here. What? Something is wrong because it's not used for anything. I think I missed something. Let's take a look. That's the good thing about having it in source control. Mouse inverted. No. Okay, that's weird. Yes, I missed something. But the thing is that the weird thing is that this I can't. So this one, I can see that being used here. Like it's used right here to multiply this. But the mouse invert modifier is never used for anything. It's just set here and here. Maybe it doesn't even work in the current version. Interesting. You know what? Let's take a look. In the not old, but the current version of the code here. Let me find out. Give me a moment. Can we search? No, where is it? Here. Input manager. So let's take a look here. So we set the mouse inverter here. I can also see it's not used here. Okay, so I don't think that works. I don't think it works in the current version. Now it's kind of hard for me to search for this, I think. Yeah. I can't search for that. Then I have to open it up, and I don't want to do that. No, I can do something because I actually have the I have the main version of the game. Okay, give me a second here. Let me open up this one. I could damn it! I could just have opened up the Unity, the Visual Studio project. I'm just curious to see. So we have this one here. So now I'm opening up the Visual Studio project for the current main version of the game, the one you see, you know, in the default branch. Because I want to see how that mouse invert modifier works in the old one, and by doing it this way, I can, if it wants to load, I can do a reference thingy here. So here we are. There you go. Okay. It broke with the... Yes. Okay. It broke with the new first-person controller. Yes. Okay. The look delta... Okay. So if we look in here, we should have this look delta somewhere. That's the sensitivity look delta here. And then sensitivity update. Yes, where are we using? Ah, it's here. Okay, here we see. Okay. So this is the new player controller. Okay. So we are missing. So we have the look sensitivity on the delta made here. So that should not. We don't need to do that here. As I put in here as a little note. But we should multiply it by the. And how was it that we did it in the old one? We said the y should be multiplied by this. So we go in here, and then, by the way, let's just stop this. And let's just this, and let's go in here, and then here. And then we have the y we need to multiply by this inverted thing. So if it's... Yeah, okay, let's see. Okay, so the inverted mouse never worked in multiplayer, apparently. But nobody complained. But it will do in a moment. Oh, by the way, Keltusar, so this is your new channel, right? Keltusar, should I make you a moderator on this one too? By the way. Twitch sucks. Kick is better for content creators. I can just enable Kick, you know. I'm using Restream, so I don't care. I could just do. Maybe I should do that, just for the fun of it. Yes, so I'll just add... No, can I do that? Okay, I can do it here. So you should be a moderator now. So let's see here. So the mouse now works as it used to. Perfect. And then we can do invert the Y. Yes, now it's the opposite. Now it's completely whack. But some people like playing like that. So when taking the mouse forward, it goes down and the other way. Okay. That's nice, and we can also turn up this one, and then I can't control anything. Yes, now it's completely like I'm drunk or something like that. Okay, perfect. So we go back to one. So now it's nice, we also got that fixed. And now it's back to normal. Perfect. Okay. Nice little fix there. And this, kids, are why you test your stuff. Which I apparently forgot in the first place, but anyway. Okay, so this is actually the last one now. Woohoo! No, that's the one we just fixed. So I think we've been through all of them now. So let's see here. So mouse Y, we don't need that. And we refresh this one, we don't need that. So very soon I can delete these entire files, and that's perfect. Mouse inverted, blah, 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 blah. We don't need that, we don't care. Yeah, okay, hardstyle. But I don't plan to or make money off Twitch anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So to me that doesn't matter. Because I don't want to yeah, I mainly want to make money off the game and not so much the streams as such. Well, I can be forced to it if the game doesn't make any money, but yeah. The thing is, as I understand, there's also a lot of more rules if you start making money on Twitch, yada yada yada, so I don't want to spend time on that. Okay, so now we can delete this entire thing. And also this global settings thing can be removed, yes. And also the global initializer, that can also be removed. Yes, perfect. Okay, so let's first check in what we have here, because we changed a lot. So let's see. We need to... No, let's just do this first. Not this one. So... Replaced all old global settings with new settings manager. So let's do that. Boom. That. Okay. And then we need to go in here and we need to go to the map essentials here. And we need to find this and we need to delete this one. And then we can call that settings. Again, the UI doesn't fit to the rest of the in-game menu, but I will fix the in-game menu UI in a bit. And we actually need to know, why was that? Let's see. No, that's fine for now. So this one, and then we have to go to the camera. No, the camera was okay. We had that camera effect settings manager. Don't know if I like the word, but it's okay. Then we have to go to the... Oh, now I just saw Doozy just to... if Amnesty, you asked before about this, just let me show you here. So here you can see the roadmap here. It's this package here I'm gonna show that I need to use. So they have an upcoming thing which you can see is, okay, let me, so we have here, so ongoing work, we have Shoppy, which is a shop manager module which elevates your games with effortless in-game shops. So in-game shops is, this is not so much the one I can use. Maybe this system can be used to build a new workshop UI on, but let's see about that later. Shop doesn't necessarily mean you buy things, as I see it. It's more like building the shop thingy, like list of products, search for products, yada yada yada. It could be mods, it could be fireworks, whatever. Stashy is the object inventory module which organizes your game's inventory with ease. This is the one, and maybe depend on what they do. I don't know anything more than what it says here, plus what I read in there, the Discord. But a combination of these two, or maybe just one of them, I should be able to build a much better inventory than we have now. So these are the ones I'm working on. I'm not working on, I'm waiting on for the inventory UI. Anyway, a side note. Okay, so I need to go in now. I'm on the lookout for these. And again, this is something I hate too, about Unity, Rob. So like, I have, okay, this is like a static one, so that doesn't count. But for instance, this behavior here and this behavior here, I'm gonna delete these now. Where are they used? you know, yeah, I can see where they're used in code by doing a shift F12. They are not used anywhere in here. But where are they used? What components are they on? Why isn't it possible to just go to it and say, show me where it's used? I can say, show where used in scene, but that doesn't always work. And I have many scenes. Come on, Unity. Come on. Anyway, I think this is the one. Global settings initializer, which I apparently named similar exactly so I could find it. So this is the one. So this is the global setting initializer, and you can see assume this is replaced by the settings manager, and that's also what I have in here. So that's the same. And now I'm gonna delete this one because we don't need that. Again, housekeeping, as I said before. Let's get rid of stuff we don't need because it's just noise and added complexity. Yeah, it's very upsetting. Yeah, that losing link, and you don't know when you play the game. You only know if you use it somewhere, and then you just get some weird mistake, a weird error at runtime. So it's yeah, that is really annoying. So now I deleted the script. So now you can see I deleted the script. Now all I can see now is this one, and if the game was using this, I wouldn't know until I used it at runtime, meaning when the game runs and I by accident hit the stuff that actually used this. Really don't want to do code like that, but you can't do anything about it. Okay, so now we're gonna delete this one because that prefab is not needed anymore, and this is in the resource stuff because that is something I use in my bootstrapper thing. I have some stuff here. This is actually a very good idea, Rob. I don't know if you use this, but this one. So having this method that is running before scene is loaded, that means it's run before everything else, basically. Anyway, so here I'm initializing all the prefabs that I need there to be there in for the entire game. So like event system, the pop-up canvas, the UI notification manager, the global settings initializer, which I don't need anymore, and that's the one we need to remove, and this new settings manager I do. So here all these prefabs are initialized at the startup of the game. No matter what scene I'm on, it run once when the game starts. So I have all these running as and you can see I'm marking them as don't destroy and load, so they're not destroyed. It have really helped me to structure things. And then lately, because I have multiple scenes and a map in my game is combined by multiple scenes. I have one map essentials, which is the UI and the camera and blah 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 blah, and then the actual map is a scene on itself, either from the game, from native in the game, or from a mod. But so it's multiple scenes loaded and then combined at runtime. That makes it hard to sit in Unity and test stuff sometimes. So I made, and this is something I added recently, I added this one up here. So this always runs before sub-scene registration. So when you hit play, it's only happening in the editor. If the scene is not the main menu, then I load the main menu. So I can just, be on the town scene, for instance, hit play, then it will go to the main menu and can go into the town, because my town doesn't work as a standalone scene anymore. Because the way the game is built. So therefore I always have to go through the main menu to get everything set up correctly. So yeah, it's just a nice little thing that I found out. It's actually not something I took somewhere. I think it was just an idea I had, and then I figured out I could use these things to do it. And it works pretty good. So feel free to copy that. Let me see, because I think no. Okay. So that was the one of them. That was the this. Then there is the global settings here. This class can just be deleted because that's not referenced anywhere because it's not a component, it's just a static class. So somewhere in here I have this one. Let's delete that. We don't need that one. Have a nice dog walking trip, Konako. Yes, and then we have the last one here, which is, and that is what we are getting compile errors now on the settings UI manager, which again, as I said the other stream, if I didn't make this entire game, even I made this game and I have a hard time figuring out where these things are used. So if you're multiple people, how the hell are you figuring that one out? Like for instance now the settings UI manager, I need to delete this one now. It's pretty easy because I can search for it here and find it and delete it, but where is it used? We can try and do, okay, maybe I can actually, no I can't. Let's do a test. So where is this used? Okay, find reference, okay, find reference in project, that's new. Did you see that? Find references in project, let's see. Maybe I should make it build first. Maybe that would be fair. That would be fair. Yeah, I work with a lot of scenes, Konako. The way the entire game is, yeah, long story. So let's make it build first. So maybe they have done something. Let's see. I'm making it, okay, it's building the asset index down here. Let me build so now there's no compiler errors, because that it might not be fair to have compiler errors. So find reference in project. It's a new setting actually. I never seen that before. Okay, let it search and it's building. So we just let's wait a moment. Let's see. It's worth waiting for. I kind of know where this one is used, but it would be nice if this feature is actually something you could rely on. Yeah, find reference in project. I haven't seen that before. It says searching in project now, and it says searching buildings, asset searching. So I think I'll just let it stay here and do its magic. Yeah, mine was like that, Rob, back before I added multiplayer and added mod support, actually before I added mod support, custom maps actually. When I added custom maps, I had to change how that worked. How the entire thing is kind of, loaded and put together. And I found out that, I can't even remember how it was, but there's something about the occlusion data. It only works on the main scene. So when you combine scenes at the end, it only takes, I can't remember if it's the last or the first scene's occlusion data and use that. So if you do it in the wrong order, you won't get the occlusion data from that scene. I don't know if that makes sense, but I remember we had a lot of issues with that. When loading custom maps. I actually have kind of the same thing in multiplayer, but it's another thing. Occlusion data doesn't work for clients as it is now. I haven't spent time asking netcode for it, but the thing is, by the way, it timed out now here, but I think it's timing out because it's still building the index. So I'm letting it building that index, and then we get back to search in project. Anyway. A little thing for you too, Konako. Not Konako, well, also for Konako, but for Rob. So when you have dynamic things, in scene objects, the way it works is that you have in scene objects, you load up the host, it's all good. When the client joins, the client start out by, when it's joining, it start out by removing all network objects in the game, and then getting it synchronized from the host. So it looks the same, and the host have control over these in-game network objects. The problem is in my case that I have some buildings in the game that can be exploded, meaning they can be removed. But I would like to use, as long as these buildings are there, I would like to use them as part of the occlusion data. So therefore they are part of the occlusion thing. The problem with is that per default, you can remove it because then the occlusion thing will still think they're there, and then you can see things behind it. So what you can do is you can add a occlusion portal to these houses. Set up that one. It's supposed to be used for doors and stuff like that. But I use it for the houses. So when the house explodes, the door is opened, meaning I'm telling Unity that now you can actually see through this door, meaning the occlusion logic shouldn't run for this particular house. The problem is, that works fine for the host and in the single player normal version, but for clients, these houses are actually removed and then respawned. So the client thinks that these houses are gone. And when they're spawned, that occlusion thing is not kicking in. That portal thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just how it is now. But if it's something that netcode will fix, it's something that they know, I don't know. I haven't reached out to them because I don't have time to look into it right now anymore, and not in details. But it's an interesting thing, really. But it is a very edge case to use these occlusion portals and enable and disable them and remove them and respawn stuff with that on and blah blah blah. So I haven't done anything about it right now. Anyway, let's try this again because now it's done building the index thing. So let's see, wish me luck. Find reference in project. Let's see. Perfect. And this is exactly what I mean. Searching project, search hierarchy, and found nothing. Okay, let me show you something. I'm just guessing now. If I go to prefab, view, settings, not settings header, I can't remember exactly view. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. No, I can't remember. It's legacy maybe. No, yep, here. Okay. So it is right here. But why was it saying prefab is missing scripts? So maybe that's why I can't find it. Huh. But it's not missing a script. Or maybe it's missing a script. Okay, so it's just if it's missing one script, it can't figure it out. Because we pretty much agree that this is the one we were looking for, right? And this is the new one. It's not very, I'm not actually using it that much. So what if we just, for the fun of it, what if we take this one? Because I know this one is used and I know it's not missing. Okay, that actually works. Boom. But it finds it in the hierarchy. It doesn't find it in the project. And this is actually used in the project. No, it's not. Wait a second. No, it's not because it's... No, it's not. It's correct. Because this is a tab container. Yeah. So that is actually correct. Okay. Rob Lang, Gonarco, finding project might work. With some bots, but okay, let's get back to this one and let's not delete it yet. Let's find the prefab UI, blah 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 blah, containers. No, it's legacy. Here it is. And this is the old thing, and we don't want to have that, do we? No, we just remove it. So we delete that, and then we go to search for this, and delete it. Boom. And now, for instance, if this was used someplace else, it would be nice to know. But I'm not getting any info about that, as far as I know. I'm still learning new things. Oh yes, we are all learning new things all the time, hopefully. I just learned about that in project thing. Let's see if it starts. Let's see what happens. Just re-listening to your occlusion solution twice. Yeah, you have such a small thing, so I don't think, you know, occlusion data, you need that really, because your entire game is in a very small place really. But yeah, it's actually a pretty, that's actually also something I figured out myself. I found these portal things. I can show you here. Because I had all the houses were static, but then when I needed to be able to explode them, that's when the problem happens, because then I couldn't see through it. So you can see a collision data here. Let's do like this. And let's do like this. So here you can see. So this one is occluding out data. I can't see past it, right? So I can see things behind it. And if I do like this, you can see here that these green ones here. Let me see. So here you can see I have a occlusion portal here, which is currently not open. If I open this one, you should be able to see that I can now see through the house, right? So if I go here and I do like this, so I have it on the other screen here. So if I close, open the portal, the occlusion thing kicks in, and you can actually also see it here in the stats, I guess. If I keep looking this way. So you can see now it's rendering like 462 vertices. And when I do like that, it's rendering 1.2 million vertices. So it's a pretty big thing, really. So when it's not open, like here, now it's not open, that's the default. So when I explode this house, this occlusion portal will be gone, or will be deleted, and then the thing happens, works again. Sorry, the door is open, or the collusion is not happening. But again, as I said, that doesn't work for the clients. Okay, now it didn't blow up. Anyway, I don't want to do it anymore. But anyway, when it's gone, I can see through it and all is good. But for clients, it doesn't work when it's spawned afterwards, which is a little annoying. Anyway. So, okay, so we have settings now. It looks a little weird, but it works. We have the language thing. We have the window. We can't test that because that needs to be in a build. This one worked. We also tried this one. Oh, quality. Oh, yeah. So let me just test that one, because I think did I hook that up? Maybe I did that. Yes, I did here. So when is that? So that is happening on start, and it's happening on a scene that's being loaded. It should actually also happen when I change. So really this should also happen when I change the quality settings. This one. Because, and let me show you now. If I take the manager and I take this one, and I take the quality here. So here you can see the quality, it's high. Let's see if we go to low. So you can see when I change the quality here, it doesn't change the quality in the EnviroSky thingy. It just stays to the high one. And it needs to change based on this. And it's set to the high now because when the map is loaded, it's set to the same as the setting here. And that was high. Okay. But it's easy to fix with the way I have implemented this. Because I can just... Oops. We can actually close all of this now. So we can do this very easily. We can just... Because we want to do something when the quality level is set. I can just hook in here, set this property thing, and then I can do it two ways. I can just do it like this. I will just do like this. Apply sky quality. Boom. So when it's set, it triggers this method that does this trick here. I could also take this out and put it over in some environment manager that looked in this and was hooking up to the event. Instead of having, because, and really I should do that because you can see how I'm messing up knowledge here. Now suddenly the settings manager knows about the EnviroSky manager. That's not really ideal, because what if I want to change the EnviroSky thing at some point? I think I have my own EnviroSky manager here, which is set loaded, blah, 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 blah. You know what? We should really do it here. I'm gonna change that right away, because that's much better. This is not good. So I actually think, okay, so you saw I just did this fix now where when I'm setting this quality level, I'm calling this one. Let's try that first and then let me improve it afterwards, and moving that knowledge over to the EnviroSky manager instead of the settings manager. Fortnite Toxic. Happy you enjoyed it. Good morning, Basso. Not really morning anymore. More like 10 in the evening. So, let's just check this out quickly. So, I'm gonna open up the EnviroSky here. And this one should actually also be renamed. Instead of Enviro Message Broadcaster, it should be called EnviroSky Manager. So I'm gonna rename that afterwards too. Okay, anyway, it's gonna be cleaned up a lot. That's good. So let's check again. So we have the quality here, and we go to the settings, and we go to graphics, and then we change it to very low. And that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Wait a second. Quality level. Okay. Yeah. It's because this one is... okay. The reason it's not working is because this one, you can see here, which is the code that is running when I run this apply EnviroSky quality settings, is actually looking at the quality settings from Unity. And this one is not being set when I'm setting the quality level in my settings, because that's being done when I run this apply quality settings. Give me a moment. Okay. So this is game dev. Okay, so I'm also gonna call this down here, but I'm gonna do something else too. So here I'm actually gonna do like this. So I'm setting the property. Then I'm applying this property because it's using this property that I just set here. And then I'm applying the EnviroSky quality based on that quality settings in Unity, which is happening right here. So now it should work, but I can make it a little cleaner by removing this part over to the EnviroSky manager. But I want to see this work first, and then I refactor that in a moment because it's more clean, really. And this is something you don't think about at all when you play the game, and you shouldn't worry about. But this is why games are not made in 2 minutes or whatever the YouTubers tries to tell you. I made this game in 20 minutes. Yes, and it sucks. Jesus. I made this game in 5 years. Whoa. Anyway. I have actually thought about making a video saying I made... Actually, let me show you something. Here. So, this is how long I've been working on the game. Day means days. So this is when I did the first commit in Git for Fireworks Mania. So I have been working on the game for 2004 days. So maybe I should make a video. I worked on this game for 2000. I made this game in 2000 days. Whoa. I don't know if that would be a... Maybe it's so big a number that people would actually watch the video. But anyway. So let's take a look here again. So we have the quality. Boom. And we go in here. But apparently it's a little celebration. I should have had a little celebration of so see now when I change this, because I just reached 2000 days. Very high, ultra, insane. Just they called it something different than this, but I'm mapping this so it fits. But you can see here it's now changing. When I'm changing this, the EnviroSky is also changing. That also worked for before, but it didn't work after I redid the settings. I can't speak anymore. Okay, so that works, but let me clean it up a bit. Because this one should be called EnviroSky Manager, because it's a better name. And then we have this one. And now we're gonna do something different. Okay, come on. Where's the mouse? Here. So this have something with nighttime, broadcast, blah, 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 blah. All good. Let's have a private one called apply. Yes, and then we do in the here we do a settings manager instance, and we have it from before on settings changed, and now we are not lazy because Rob Lang told us not to be, so we do like this. Settings manager on settings changed, and then we have this one, and then we can unhook that like this, and then we can move it down here. So what we will do is that when a setting is changed, We could of course store the local one and then, but we don't want to do that. Quality index. The thing is, we don't have to do this unless the setting is, because remember, this is called for all settings when they're changed. And we actually don't need to update the EnviroSky manager unless so I think, okay, so on start, so if the instance is different from now, we set up this and then we do a refresh with this, does something with the day night, that's fine. And then we do this. So when the event and the arrow and the EnviroSky manager starts up, it applies the quality settings from the settings manager here. We could store this, so we could have a quality settings index, whatever, and then we could default that to 0 or something like that. Because then we could do this, and then we could use this over here, and then we could save. So no, that won't work. No, that won't work. That's not correct. Which should be, oops, it should be. Let me do it so you can see what I'm doing. So this one should really be this one, because that's the one from that one. And then we use this down here to clamp that, blah, 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 blah. And this is the one we get here. So here we can say if this one is different from settings manager quality level, then we say apply. Oops. So we only want to do all of this because I think this is actually triggering something in the EnviroSky. We don't need to do that for the mouse thing, and every time we change the volume slider, blah 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 blah. So we only want to do it if this is different. So, and this is set when it's actually starting. We are calling this one, which is setting this one. If this is different from null. But anyway, so we hook this up and we remove it on destroy. That's all good. And then we can, so then we don't need to do this anymore. We don't need to do this anymore. Apply quality settings, that's actually okay. You know what? We don't need, yeah, we do need to do that. So that is when this is starting, we apply that, and so that's okay. That's fine. So that's only called here, even though we are also calling it down here. So we don't want to do that. So when we do this quality, we set the property and we call this one. And here we have a problem again because, okay, so now we have to, nope. Chicken or the egg. Okay, I don't know if you can see the problem, but this one is raising an event. That event over here is being fired, and this one is looking at this quality level. Then it triggers this one, which uses this quality level to figure out which one it should. I think we should do it like this then. Because we don't want to use that, we want to use that one. Because then we can trigger that one, that will fire off, and we'll change this, blah, 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 blah. And then we apply the quality settings to the actual settings here. And then we don't need this one either anymore. Which is kind of okay. Okay, so when the settings manager starts out, it sets the actually Unity quality settings to whatever we have saved. That's fine. It starts up, everything is fine. Then somebody changed, then the player changed the, well, then the game loads and the EnviroSky manager loads and it hooks up this event and also apply the settings. The settings look, if it's different, then maybe we should start out by -1 because then it will be different the first time. So it started out with this one and then we say, is that different from this quality level? Yes, it is. Then we apply this. We get the setting from the settings thing, which should be the same as this one. And we set the EnviroSky quality settings. Perfect. Then while the game is running, somebody changes this setting. That triggers this one. So that sets the internal int property, which triggers the event, which fires this event, which triggers this one, which look at these settings, which has already been set here, because the event is set afterwards, yes. And then it qualities this, blah, 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 set it up, boom, and then we actually apply the quality to the quality stage. Okay. I think this will work. Hello, Truxty. Truxty. Yeah, insane is the ultra one. So let's see. So the graphics, the quality is set to high. So that's fine, we stick to that. And then we go in here and we go to this one. Let's see. And then we go up here and we find the manager. So we have the Sky Manager now, that's perfect, boom. And then we go here and we go here, effect, quality, boom. So we have high quality. And we can also we do it like this. So we change that to ultra and it changes it to insane. I don't know if we can see the change here visually, but very low. And now it's very low. So 103, and now we change it to ultra. And it goes down to 60 something. But that's that's not only the EnviroSky, it's also because now we have shadows on things and yeah, a lot of other stuff. But the point is, it's changing. And now I want to change it to ultra. And I'm going, basically going out. What if so let's try and start up again. So now the settings should be saved to ultra. Let's see the settings here, graphics. It's set to ultra. Let's go into a game. You would never guess so much goes into a freaking settings. Manager, EnviroSky, quality, boom, set to insane. So it works. Perfect. So let's set it back to high and it changes to high down here too. And high up here. Perfect. Woohoo, works. Boom. Okay, nice. So that's really cool. And now we also reverse the, the settings manager don't know anything about the EnviroSky. I don't think we have anything with the EnviroSky in here now. Oops. Nope, so that's good. It's better that the EnviroSky manager knows about the setting stuff, because that's kind of an extra thing on top of the game, whereas the setting is more kind of a native thing. So that makes sense. Again, trying to keep references and dependencies to a minimum. So that's cool, because this is what will prevent me from breaking stuff in the future if I keep doing it like this. Anyway, so let's see. Deleted old. Deleted old. Deleted old settings, classes, and prefabs. Okay, so that's actually pretty nice. So the next step, and that's not gonna be today because I'm toasted now. It's 10 o'clock and I don't want to do it anymore. But it's pretty nice. So we got all the new setting working in the main menu. The UI is all kind of okay. I have some things I want to tweak with the UI and stuff, but the foundation is there now, and the foundation in the code is also there in the settings manager. So that's very exciting. And in the game menu UI, we also have it working. The UI in the game is just not very nice because the settings is so different than the other stuff. So I will change that. I will change the next thing I will change the in-game escape menu. So you get that resume and exit and all that in a style that fits more the new look of the game. So I think it will look kind of like it does in the main menu. So yeah, that's pretty good, but I don't want to do it anymore now. It's been streaming for 2 hours and working for 8 hours and doing all sorts of stuff, so I'm kind of done now. But it's pretty nice and it's working. Very exciting. So it's gonna be pretty easy, I think, to fix that famous last words. But yeah, I want to do it now, but I'm tired. But that's very cool. So now all I need to do is the in-game UI, and then I actually have something that I can push to the multiplayer branch, and I will do that. So that will for sure, unless something breaks or comes up in the personal life, that will come out this week on the multiplayer beta. So I can get your hands on it and test it and see what works and what doesn't work. But hopefully the resolution thing and all related to that is working better now than it did before. Plus we have the borderless mode now, which is very needed. And just to test out the system I built, and maybe I should do that on another stream tomorrow or whatever. I just want to add field of view, just to add a new setting and see it work and be easy to implement in this new setup. But maybe I'm just gonna do it off stream. I don't know. Depends on when I have time. Hello, Tuxpo. I'm actually about to end the stream, but nice that you stepped by. Yeah, exactly. And this entire more settings is always good. This is the entire reason I'm doing this, because the settings UI you have in the game that you have right now, both in the multiplayer and in the normal version, I think that was part of the first release, more or less. So that haven't changed a lot. And as you can see on that UI, it doesn't really it's not open for adding a lot of settings because it's all just cluttered in the middle of the screen. So it's impossible to add tons of stuff. So that's why I had to rebuild the UI to be as it is right now, because now it's a list of things, so I can just add upon that and then it will just scroll and we can have a lot of different stuff. And that's why I had to do it now, because it's stopping some stuff that I want to do with these settings. Parts of it, some of it is at least. So yeah, so pretty cool. But I think that's it for now. I'm out for today. Good session, good progress. Very cool. But see you in the next stream, and thank you for stepping by. See you. Do you have any questions before I leave, by the way? You have 1 minute. Plus delay. And then I'm out. What's the best thing about Denmark? The weather is not that answer, at least. No, there's actually many good things about Denmark. The good part of our high taxes is that we have a lot of things that are free. So things are not depending on your income. Education, medical stuff, a lot of stuff. Doesn't matter how much money you or your parents earn. Your parents could be unemployed and you could be a doctor, basically. Then there are some social legacy stuff, but money-wise is not the stopping. It's not the blocker, at least. The best thing is how close it is to Germany. I'm actually pretty far from Germany because I live near Copenhagen. Can I camp a tent in your backyard? Please not, no. But yeah, but Denmark is a good country, to be honest. A lot of stuff is not working, but a lot of stuff is working. Compared to many other countries. But actually, political stuff is not my specialty. But that's it. See you in the next stream. Either there will be a stream this week where I work on this, or maybe I work off stream, but some point this week there should be an update with this new setting stuff. And maybe I should hurry up tomorrow and push it out so people have it for 4th of July. But that's not good if it doesn't work. But yeah, let's see. I'm out at least. Show me one country where you can't say a lot of things not working. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is everywhere. So let me say a lot of things are actually working in Denmark. Okay, but I'm out. See you guys. Have a nice evening or day or whatever it is in your time zone. North Korea. Yeah, everything is working in North Korea. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.